Micron pulling out of consumer DRAM. Yesterday, the Micron said it was exciting, exceeding the crucial consumer DRAM business, including the sale of a crucial consumer branded product to key retailers, e-retailers, and distributors worldwide. The move comes as DRAM supply is tight, while HBM commands 5x price of the DDR5. Micron will continue crucial consumer product shipment through the consumer channel until the end of fiscal Q2, February 2026. The company will provide continued warranty, service, and support for crucial products in that period. So the Micron will continue to support the era of the Micro branded enterprise product to commercial channel customers globally. The AI-driven growth in the data center has led to a surge in demand for memory and storage. Micron has made a difficult decision to exit crucial consumer business in order to improve supply and support for our larger strategic consumers in faster growing segments, said Sumit Sadana, EVP and Chief Business Officer at Micron. The decision reflects Micron's committed to its ongoing portfolio transformation and resulting alignment of business to secular and of profitable growth factors in memory and storage, said the company, as buying concentrating on core enterprise and commercial segment, and Micron aims to improve long-term business performance and create value for strategic consumers as well as stakeholders. Micron intends to reduce the impact on employees through the redeployment opportunity into existing open positions within the company. Micron move comes as DRAM supply is tight and the prices are rising quickly. Micron Q3 revenues were up 53.2% Q over Q, quarterly over quarter, at a $10.65 billion, and its market share went up 3.7 percentage point Q over Q to 25.7%. David Manner. Alphabet AI chips are a potential $900 billion secret sauce. Bloomberg, Alphabet Incorporation investors are growing increasingly confident that the company semiconductors could represent a significant driver of future revenue for Google's parent. The success of the Alphabet's Tensor Processing Unit or TPU chips is a primary reason for the stock 30% fourth quarter rally, putting it among the best performer in the S&P 5 index. The TPU were always seen as a major strength internally, accelerating growth for the company's cloud computing business, but there is rising optimism that Alphabet could start selling the chips to third parties, creating a new revenue stream in a business that could ultimately be worth most of $1 trillion. Shares were down 1% Thursday. If companies wanted to diversify away from the NVIDIA TPU saga could wait to do it, and that means there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic, said Jill Loria, head of technology research at D.A. Davidson. The chip business could ultimately be worth more than a Google Cloud, but even if it never sells the chip internally, the better chip means a better, more efficient cloud. Should Alphabet get serious about selling its TPUs, Luria estimated that they could capture 20% of the artificial intelligence as marketing over a few years, which would make it a roughly $900 million business. Alphabet did not return request for a comment. NVIDIA spokesman pointed to a recent comment by CEO Jensen Huang as about the company's competitive advantages. As a company, you are competing against teams, and there's just that many teams in the world who are extraordinarily at building these incredibly complicated things. In late October, Alphabet announced that it supplied tens of billions of dollars of chips in the Anthropic PBC, which sent the stock on a 2-day rally of more than 6%. Then a month later, the information reported that Meta Platforms Incorporation is in talks to spend billions for access to TPUs, sparking another leap. TPUs, application-specific integrated circuit, or ASIC chips. By definition, they're custom designed for a particular use, in this case to accelerate machine learning workloads. That makes them less flexible than semiconductors made by NVIDIA Corporation, but it also makes them cheaper, which is a real benefit at a time when investors are questioning AI-related spending. NVIDIA chips are much more costly and hard to get, but if you can use the ASIC chip, the Alphabet is right there, and it leads that market by far, said market alone equity portfolio manager Homestead advisor. It won't control the entire market. This is part of the split sauce for the stock. Now, Google AI chips could be 900 billion gold mine. Should you buy a Google stock now? Next article is the HBM4 surge. Why SK Hynix 16 stack launch signals that a new inflection point at AI infrastructure. HBM4 marks the beginning of an era where energy, latency, and cost per token are increasingly defined by memory bandwidth and proximity. The AI hardware conversation has been dominated by accelerators and top-line fluff. That framing is now out of date. At current model sizes and training cells, performance is constrained less by raw compute and more by how fast, how close, and how efficiently memory can feed that compute. The race is shifting from teraflops to terabytes per second per watt, and from frequency to memory proximity. SK Hynix disclosure that it has completed HBM4 development and is preparing mass production with a roadmap that includes 16 high stacks is consequential. is a consequential marker in that shift. The company stated that it had completed the world's first HBM4 development and is ready its mass production, positioning itself as the pacesetter for the next performance frontier. This announcement established that the next performance race will be memory-centric, not necessarily or GPU-centric. This is not an isolated production move, and it is part of a structural change in AI infrastructure economics. When memory becomes the bottleneck, energy, latency, and total cost per token move with it. That reorders bargaining the power across suppliers change now how system companies evaluate architectures and redefine where EDA and packaging on their key. The right question is no longer who has biggest GPU, it's who can deliver the most usable bandwidth at close to the logic at the scale the grid can sustain. The new economics of AI infrastructure, training and inference, cost curves are now driven by the physics of the data movement. Every extra millimeter between the memory and logic imposes a tax in both latency and joules. As you cross the scale, the tax compounds. This is why the supply of high bandwidth memory has quietly become a strategic dependence for every AI roadmap. It is also why the memory vendors are regaining pricing power after years of commoditization. The macro energy backdrop reinforces the pivot. The International Energy Agency (IEA) has shown that the data center electricity demand is rising sharply with AI workloads and identified efficiency in hardware and infrastructure as primary lever to accounting the growth. It is led to scenarios improvement in the hardware and software efficiency make the difference between marginal demand and runaway consumption. This is a polite way of saying that architectures minimize the energy per token will win on both performance and economics. When you place the energy reality next to the bandwidth, where the conclusion is straightforward. AI builders will prioritize memory bandwidth per watt and memory proximity every bit as much as they prioritize row flops. HBM4 with higher per stack bandwidth and tighter integration, as well the prioritization shows up in product form. Technically, what HBM4 changes? HBM4 extends the logic of stacked memory that defines HBM2E and HBM3E, but it does so with the more aggressive stacking, faster pins, and a tighter coupling to the logic die through advanced packaging. SK Hynix 16 high stacking roadmap with mass production targeted after customer sampling cycles represent not just capacity but efficiency, the ability to increase effective bandwidth within the same thermal envelopes. As the stack height increases through silicon via density, thermal paths, and yield management, or become harder. Getting that balance right is the difference between benchmark headlines, deployable product, and a data center scale. Micron, meanwhile, has used public investors' communications to connect its HBM3 shipment is the upcoming HBM4 roadmap directly to AI server demand, pairing DRAM process leadership with base die and packaging co-design. Mike and the company messaging at GTC emphasizes that a high bandwidth memory is no longer a component, it's part of the system architecture itself. Sam's own path to qualification underscored that point. In mid-2024, Reuters reported that Samsung's HBM chips were initially failing NVIDIA's tests due to the heat and power issues. By August, a follow-up report confirmed that a layer HBM3E had passed. The takeaway was that a qualification at this performance class is as much thermal engineering as it is processing engineering, a dynamic that will only intensify with the HBM4. System implications, packaging, and co-design. HBM performance depends on entire packaging. The memory does not deliver the values unless the package and interconnect deliver proximity and signal integrity. Technology like TSMC CoWoS, Intel's MEB, and Samsung's OneCube have become strategic choke points. NVIDIA's rapid product cycles have lived or died on CoWoS availability. In early 2025, Jensen Huang himself told reporters that NVIDIA's advanced packaging needs were changing to accommodate new architecture, a public acknowledgement that package had become a core design variable. Reuters coverage. The surprise said TSMC had been expanding CoWoS output aggressive, planning new sites in Chiayi and Japan to meet AI demand. The expansions are not optional. HBM4 volumes cannot scale with a matching interposure, substrate, and assembly throughput. From a design perspective, HBM4 performance is a system property, not a device property. Power delivery, interposure routing, a signal integrity, and thermals all determine whether the promised bandwidth translate into usable performance. This is where EDA becomes critical. Multi-domain co-simulation, spanning logic, interposure, and package is now essential for first pass success. As stacks climb to 16 high, such co-simulation will be the line between shipping and sleeping. Strategic and competitive dynamics. This channel, sorry, the shift to memory-centric economics is reordering and the AI supply chain. Memory suppliers are regaining strategic relevance after a decade of margin erosion. SK Hynix recently told investors that the HBM market could grow over 30% annually through 2030, with HBM4 entering full-scale sales in 2026. Reuters reported that the SK Hynix posted a record quarterly profit on HBM demand, with customers locking capacity well in advance. Compute vendors are adjusting too. Performance leadership is shifting from monolithic die design to integration mastery. How compute, memory, and package are optimized. This triad now defines the total cost of ownership more than any single component. Architecture that can flex between HBM3E and HBM4 tiers will have an edge as a supply remaining tight. For hyperscalers, this evolution is driving a new behavior, co-design. When electricity becomes the scarcest input, design teams pursue joules per token improvement with the same urgency that they once pursued flops. Procurement now favors vendors who can guarantee not just GPU availability, but also HBM and packaging capacity. Allocation, not innovation, become the differentiator. Investors view margin compression and versus strategic power. For institutional investors, HBM4 economics cut both ways. On the other hand, memory suppliers are capturing a larger share of value, creating pressure on GPU's vendors' margin. On the other, integrated players, those who co-optimize logic, memory, and package, gain defensibility and control over energy efficiency. Allocation will increasingly determine revenue recognition. Micron's own statements highlight the same theme. Close collaboration between DRAM engineers, system architects, and AI vendors is now essential for hitting energy and performance targets. Investors should interpret such partners as signals of multi-year visibility rather than a short cycle volatility. The medium-term setup favored three groups: memory suppliers with proven HBM4 yield, packaging houses scaling interposer without a yield cliff, and EDA vendors compressing design cycles under stricter thermal constraint. So the compute vendors that treat memory as integral to product, not as a component will sustain valuation premiums. Sampling qualification will be the next test. Stacks must meet thermal and power integrity, targeted real systems, not elapse, FCOVAs or equivalent packaging. Expansion lag, HBM4 capacity will remain standard, Execution, not announcement, will determine who captures values in this transition. Bottom line, Control and Bennett control the cycle. The semiconductor race has reached the turning point where memory bound what dictated competitive advantage. HBM4 marked the start of the memory century, wherein each performance, cost, and energy are bound together by proximity. Those who control bandwidth through the co-design packaging memory and power efficiency will control the cycle that follows. For executives, this means that redefining architecture from the package up. For investors, it means shift focus from GPU launches to supply alignment across memory and interconnect. For design software leaders, it means treating power aware, code simulation, and stack level optimization as the new standard does not set. The next phase of AI performance will not only be decided by how much computer design can hold, it will also be decided by close memory sites to chat compute and vital who can keep the energy cost of every token with what grid can bear. In this cycle, control the bandwidth and you control the future of compute. Okay, thank you for your time. See you next time.